I made these apps using TkForge, a drag and drop no-code Python GUI maker that I created myself. That was a mouthful. You might be asking why I would make yet another GUI maker for Python. There's already Tkinter Designer and Qt. Well, Tkinter Designer is old as no offense, and Qt is just not a Qt. So here's the plan. We use Figma as the drag and drop editor and convert your Figma design into code. And yeah, that's about it. Why did I go with Figma? Well, that's because there are plenty of app designs made in Figma already, and it's also really easy to use Figma. Definitely not because I can't make my own drag and drop editor. So how will it work? Well, you need to label the elements in your design as a button, text, image, etc. And then we can use the Figma API to get all of the details and generate Tkinter code from it. For the complex elements of the design, we could probably do some fancy deductions and generate code for it, but instead I made it so you need to label them as an image and it will create an image of those elements. I'm not trying to spend the next 10 years of my life on this project, so deal with it. It's also the same approach Tkinter Designer takes. The Figma API was actually really easy to work with. They have great documentation and everything is just nice. So, why did I call the app TkForge even though nobody cares about the name? Well, you'll see, and bear with me on this one, it's because you are forging an app. Forge these nuts. I made the icon for the app in Figma. It's supposed to be an anvil. If you don't see the resemblance, then that sounds like a skill issue, not gonna lie. What makes TkForge stand out from the hundreds of other GUI libraries? Well, I made it. I added support for Tkinter elements like label, text, image, spinbox, rectangle, and many more. I'm too lazy to name all of them, even though that would probably increase the watch time, I recommend putting everything that is not interactable in a group and labeling it as an image. Then you don't have to manually label every single thing. Just a quick notice, 99.69% of you guys watching aren't subscribed, which I made up, but make sure to subscribe or else the skibidi toilet from episode 69 will come after you. This wouldn't be a coding video if I don't get at least 100 errors. So the x and y values that are returned by the Figma API don't match up with the design. So I came up with this formula that fixes it. If you want me to explain it, then go think about something else. I made this project in the middle of an exam and my brain tends to factory reset after an exam. I also made the app detect the background color and apply a foreground color accordingly with a formula that I got from ChatGPT. It works most of the time, or at least I think so. Placeholder text, love it or hate it, it does what it's supposed to do. Adding placeholder text in Tkinter can be a pain in the rear end. However, with a little help from ChatGPT, okay, maybe a lot of help from ChatGPT, I got it to work. You still need to handle a lot of situations yourself. If you don't spend 10 hours solving errors, then you are not a developer. I made a CLI version for anyone who doesn't like GUIs for some reason. The app also works when there are multiple frames. I'm gonna be honest, I only added this feature because Tkinter Designer also supports it. I made the graphical user interface for the app using the app itself. Level 100 marketing, to be honest. When you open the app, it shows a random image in the background from a list of images. The app freezes when generating code. It's not like that bad if you think about it, but I was able to fix it, so it's all good now. I also tried to make a pinpoint version of the app, but I couldn't really find any documentation on that, so I decided to just ignore it. Maybe in the future I might add it. One of the major flaws of Tkinter is that it's very slow. Like I'm talking, it's slower than me trying to walk after my grandmother force feeds me 5 tons of food. It comes built in with Python, so that's something I guess. I wrote the readme file of the project, which took a lot of time because it also has the documentation for the entire app. I used an online translator to make a Chinese version of the readme. Why did I do that? Well, because Chinese has 1.3 billion speakers at the time of making this video, unless they all just decide to speak another language for some reason. After that, I published the project on GitHub, link in the description, and made a post about it on Reddit. After like more than a month or so, the post got nearly 300 upvotes and the GitHub repository got about 200 stars. That's the most amount of stars I have ever gotten, so I would say that it was a good project. But most importantly, I learned a lot about Python with this project, which is very Sigma Ohio Riz. I don't know what I was high on when I put this into the script. The latest version is V2, which is available for free. I made the older versions available to patrons only. Anyways, here's a demo of the app. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more cringe, join my Discord to suggest video ideas, and that's about it.